with the Delica, it does come with these cup holders. Let me take it off this little mouth here. And they function, but when you put your cup or whatever, it goes in at an angle. And, you know, obviously it's going to fit the smaller drinks. Not ideal. Not ideal for, like, coffee. Like, when I drive this to work, I would consciously, like, oh, I need to finish my coffee before leaving. Typically, I just take it with me and I have a cup of coffee at work. So I picked this up. And it fits right in between the four-wheel drive selector and the e-brake. Again, I'll take it off this mount. You can see it right there, right between. Not too shabby, but it kind of does slide a little bit. So I have some Velcro command strip tape somewhere. Oh, here. And I am going to figure out how to just, I don't know, either stick it to the side of the seat and then to the side of this thing, and then hopefully it sticks, you know. Then it doesn't move around. It doesn't have to be like super solid. I mean, gravity does help out, and it's wedged between the two seats, which leads me to the little things, you know, that we do. Car guys, men, husbands, boyfriends, whatever, girlfriends, wives. Working on the Delica AC issue, I'm like, oh snap. And I'm the kind of guy that puts myself into a situation like this all the time. Like, everything will work out. Everything will work out, and if it doesn't, it won't. But I'm going to try my damnedest to remedy the problem. Originally, the AC worked. It was cold, so I didn't think much of it, and then it didn't. And I'm like, oh well, damn, that sucks. What do I do now? So I go on a bender and I spin out like always, and I overly research, which you should do, where to get things, you know, parts. So do I get the part from Japan? Oh, there's a bunch of parts, and I'm thinking compressors, because everything always leads to the AC compressor, at least in my head. Where do I get this part from? Japan. Used ones, China, but with the whole tariff thing in China, I don't know. Reaching out to Steven, he's the one that says, hey, you know, just get it diagnosed before you jump on this thing, which I really appreciate that. That's a good person, good businessman, you know, for doing that. Good ethics. Watching YouTube videos like always, trying to learn Chris Fix and all that kind of stuff. And refilled it, recharged it on my own. I was going to get that whole valve system so I can properly do it, but I wanted to try you got to try with the least amount, or go the direction with the least amount of friction, you know. Go the easiest route first before you jump into the deep end. So far, so good, right? I got the Freon with the dye. I got a little black light, which was fun. The kids are playing with it. And I recharged it. So far it's working, which is surprising, because on that hot day it didn't. Man, it kind of sucked to have this van, and it just reminded me all over again, like, man, my first Mitsubishi was a 3000 GT. Or actually, it's not my first Mitsubishi, but the main one, the VR4 that I had, the 3000 GT, did not have free AC, and it was an R12 because it was a 92. And you know, at that time, that was the least of my concern, you know, when I got it. I wanted the Thunderbolt car. I wanted Jackie Chan's car from Thunderbolt. I wanted to be that guy. I love Jackie Chan, by the way. He's like my all-time favorite. If you ask me who would I would like to meet as far as Hollywood stars, Jackie Chan, #1, always. Big kung fu guy. in comedy. But yeah, Thunderbolt 3000 GT. That's the one I wanted. So I had the opportunity to purchase a 92 VR4, and it was something else. In hindsight, I should have not bought it. Had issues. But going back to the AC, it didn't have AC. Built it the way I did. Got it functioning. Had it for 10 plus years, and had new pistons put in because I spun a rod. And then I had it at home, and Mason was born, the first, my oldest. And there was a car meet at the park, and I'm like, let's put him in there because mom was sleeping. And I'm like, hey, let's go on our first car meet adventure as son and dad. So I was excited. He was like 1, maybe, you know. But it was a hot day. It had to be like in July or May, you know, because he might have been 1 or a little before 1 year old. And he was just not having a good time. And I had to put him in the front seat because he wouldn't fit in the back with a car seat. But the 92 didn't have airbags, so had him in the front seat, rear facing, and he was just not having a good time. Just really fussy. And Mason, truth be told, real good baby. He wasn't really fussy. He was never really like that. So when he got fussy, I could tell he was not comfortable with it. And this is before I went back into school to become a nurse. And something out of nowhere hit me, like car guy, dad. And dad won. So I sold the 3000 GT for dirt cheap. I sold it for $3,500 to this guy that I thought was going to be, supposedly a good guy. He was a 3000 GT guy, but he never had a VR4. And I'm not going to talk bad on anybody, but I think he was in over his head, because if you've ever owned a 3000 GT or even just a VR4, you know that it's, man, these things are finicky, and you really have to like love the platform in order to like really enjoy it, because they're not easy jump in the car and kind of go kind of cars. You know, they're not like a Civic or, even, well, I would say Evo, but Evos are a little more, they can be finicky too. But yeah, they're not just this jump in the car, enjoy it, especially it being a 92. And it had its issues, and I laid everything out, and I was transparent, because that's how I am. I'm transparent. You could see what I've done. I'm the guy that keeps all the records. There's no point in lying, because eventually you'll find out, and I don't want to be that person that's, like that. No. Especially when it comes to my cars, because I put myself into it. Kind of like a lot what Samet says about his cars. It's a part of him too, and that's how I look at it too. So long story short, things fell through, and I was like, you got to leave me alone. He was hitting me up for random things that really had nothing to do with at that point, as it related to the car. Like, oh, it would die, it will do this, or did you check the vacuum? Are you doing your part to research this, or are you just leaning on me? And I got into nursing school, so it's like I really kind of focus on my life, my kids, my family, and not that, because that's the past. So he got upset with me, and it's like, okay, dude, just leave me alone. And then 10 years later, whatever it is, my little brother messages me on Facebook Messenger, and he goes, hey, check this out, it's your car. I'm like, oh my god, it's my car. I looked it up. Somebody's selling it for 10 G's, and it is clapped out. I had an original Rally Art steering wheel, had all these cool things. I had the Pit Road M kit on it. That dude that I sold it to tried to make it a 99 conversion, because that's 99 conversion. I'm like, man, you really must not have known how difficult it was to get the Pit Road M kit here in the States back then. But anyways, yeah, it was sad. The car looked so bad, and it, like, oh man, I wish my brother didn't send that to me. And after that, I kind of like did something else. My kids are getting older now. my youngest is kind of really super interested in cars. So now this is my, I guess, my second wind to jump back into it. Financially more stable, I can do this a little bit more, hence I have to import cars. My wife knows I've always been this kind of guy where I've always wanted to tinker. I always need to tinker. I need to, that's my release, you know. And cars were a big part of it. Now she's kind of on board with it. And she knows that I need this. You know, some guys have their golf, some guys have, you know, their man cave and they do things or game. This is what I do. I stress out about cars and I end up fixing them or I don't, you know, and that's where I am with this. So hopefully the AC works. If it doesn't, at least I can track it down, and I tried my best to figure it out. I am by no means a mechanic. I'm by no means expert at any of all this because I do my research and I look at YouTube University. I jump on the forums and I keeps me up at night sometimes, but put in that effort. Because when you do something small, like a cup holder thing, and your significant other, your buddy realizes you did something small, it's a win. And if you did something big and they don't realize it, it's okay because you know, and that's a win to you. My wife doesn't realize that this Delica is a diesel, and I've never worked with diesels. And yeah, I'm in hindsight, engine's an engine, but it's a whole different beast when it comes to how things work in it and why you need to do certain things. AC systems, I don't know that. I just know I can recharge it, but I'm learning on a fly. A lot. I sound like an old guy now. Nowadays, everything's so quick and easy, and I wouldn't say easy, but it's easier to get the information than it used to be, where we would jump on forums and read everything, you know, or you really have to learn. Now you can watch a video more often than not, and at least get an idea from a video because someone else has put that effort in and has shared it, which is great. I'm on a rant, and that's okay. I'm just ranting. I just want to do this little quick project thing, get it squared away before our trip, vent a little bit. Not vent, just talk. Sorry. In all reality, why I'm doing these videos, and I don't care if anybody watches them, but in the future, hopefully my kids do. And they can see that, oh, Dad, he was tinkering while I was inside playing, you know, Red Ball 4 or watching Teen Titans or something like that. That's why he was in the garage messing around with the cars. He's just getting them ready so we can go on adventures. And, you know, when they get older, I can kind of share this knowledge, or at least some of it, typical things, you know, where they can put in the effort and not have to rely totally on a mechanic. And don't get me wrong, I have a great deal of respect for techs. You know, I was a service advisor for a while, in between my enlistment from the Air Force and nursing school. And what they do there is backbreaking. And I really respect what they do because that it's not just some techs. Don't get me wrong; they'll just throw parts at it and hope it works, or they're just glorified parts changers. But then you got those ones that can diag, and they know the background behind the car and why it does certain things, and then they throw science into it and engineering. And just, whoa, like you guys are extremely underpaid for what you really do. So big ups to them. Shout out to them. If you need them, that's what they're there. But I want to try and do as much as I can because this is my car. And then that being said, I mean, it is a car we don't even have here in the States, a diesel 2.8 turbo 4-wheel drive Mitsubishi. It would be hard pressed to find somebody here in Central Valley that will want to work on something like this, you know, AC system aside. So I'm going to do as much as I can so that way I can save myself a headache later because I'm sure it's going to be difficult to find a tech that wants to work on this car. I don't even know where I'm at with this. Doing little things, just keep doing little things, you know. Don't want to be stagnant in what you do in life. And if you are feeling that way, get out there and do something that you want to do, or at least you have an interest in doing. Even if it's like building Gundams or model cars or gardening or whatever. Get out there and do something. Keep moving forward. All right, that's today's rant. Oh, just so you know, I just used that 3M Velcro type tape and wrapped it around the actual thing here. It's not seated all the way down, but the areas that are making contact are keeping it from sliding too crazy. Yeah, it's not perfect, but that's all right. Because truth be told, this van isn't going to win any speed races, so it ain't going anywhere. All right, y'all. Check you out later.